Good morning. My name is Robert Stanley, and this is my week 4 assignment for FYH 223 hammer-fired pistols. This week we got quite a bit of things to talk about. First part of this video, going to go by a little quickly. First part, we're going to go over the science of compensators for your pistols, your rifles. Weapon I got here is the SRB6. It is empty, and there's no live ammunition around. So I'll be using this, and I'll be using my other pistol, the PSA dagger here. It's empty. So the science behind compensators, it's supposed to help reduce recoil and muzzle rise, depending on what kind of compensator you get. Some compensators also help reduce sway after firing. So, and then you got your suppressors. Suppressors are just all around. It's noise. It's a few other things. So, the one good thing with compensators, with the right compensator, you could get, you can actually redirect how the gas goes. So, where with no compensator, like the SRB6 here and my PSA dagger, the gas is just going to come out. So, but if you put a compensator on that has side vents, your gas, instead of just blowing forward, is going to blow out the side. And I can actually get another visual aid for you. I will use my .6.5 Creedmoor that I have here. So again, another visual aid, and this is on safe and free of ammo. But if you could see here, I got all these vents on the top and the side, and on the bottom I don't have any. So what this one does, this actually expels the gases out and up. So it this will actually improve my vertical recoil. It changes the direction of the gas explosion coming out of the barrel for me. It's going to reduce my muzzle rise, and it's also going to be a muzzle flash. It's a flash, so you won't be able to see it. And I'm going to point the weapon in, but if you see here, I also got vents here on the front. So that's going to help with all that directional change for my gases and some other things. Some cons behind it. The next thing we're going to go over is some pros and cons behind your compensators. And unfortunately, when you look at things, as far as verbiage and whatnot, the cons actually outweigh the pros for compensators. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. I'll go over the pros, I'll go over the cons. So for pros, again, it reduces recoil. It reduces or redirects your gas after the weapon has been fired. Certain compensators so you can have your compensator, but it's also provides some protection for a suppressor. A lot of people say that the suppressors aren't part of it, or part of your compensators. I feel they are. I mean, compensators and suppressors kind of go together. If you don't have a threaded barrel and you got to, like here on the dagger, if I had to screw my compensator in here, I would screw my compensator on, and then on the end of it I could screw in, because the compensators could be threaded, I could screw a suppressor right into it. So, but I can't just put a suppressor on this weapon because I don't have a threaded barrel. So, compensators also help for tighter groups. So again, going with the suppressor with and the compensator together, I mean, you'll get a much tighter group. Because not only are you taking the length of this, but the length of the barrel is from here to here. Same for the dagger here, it's from here to here. You're taking the length and you're actually increasing the length the bullet travels before it exits the weapon. So you're getting a little bit more rotation, which is going to allow for more stability in flight. So you're going to get much tighter groups with a compensator or a suppressor. And that's about it for all your pros, honestly. I mean, yeah, it gives you, like I said, it gives you tighter groups. It effectively increases the length, giving you more rotation on your rounds. Reduces recoil, reduces muzzle flash, gas explosion from the barrel, and that's about it. The cons, and like I said, I went over about 4 pros, and that's really all there is. Cons here, you got the weight and length, so it increases everything. The cost, installation time, if you don't have threaded barrels, it's much harder. Cleaning, it's going to be, you got to clean more. And reliability, not all your compensators, not all your suppressors are very reliable, so you could sit there and shoot it and it could fall off, or it could just break. So unfortunately, like I said, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Or I'm sorry, the cons outweigh the pros. So, but for this, I'm going to go ahead and pause. I got a bunch of things I got to go over and do, and we'll come back and we'll explain everything here in a minute. All right, welcome back. The next part of this video, we are going to be doing some trigger pulls and swapping out some things and doing some stoning. So I've already obtained my trigger pull here. And this is my initial trigger pull. So for double action, I have an average of 9.2 pounds, and for single action, I have an average of 3.3 pounds. And that's just with no work done to it whatsoever. Next part within this video, I'm supposed to be stoning and polishing some of the trigger. Unfortunately, I will not be doing any of that. This is my punch. This is me trying to get out my pins, trying to so I could take out the trigger and take out some of these items. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing much with the polishing. I've replaced my trigger spring. I replaced the firing pin spring. And that's about it. I mean, I can't really do much. I mean, here's the kit. This is the old firing pin spring. And then there's the rest of my stuff. Here's the old trigger spring. I still got the hammer and the ejector in there. So, unfortunately, again, I'm sorry. I can't go much further until I get some new punches. But when polishing and stoning, you don't want to distort anything, because the minute you distort or take away too much, your pistol, your rifle, it's not going to operate properly anymore. You can actually make the metal more brittle, and it can break. So going from there, unfortunately, like I said, I can't do much with the polishing. I do have a secondary trigger pull. And without polishing, without stoning, I did get a double action of 7.2 and a single action of about 2.5, just replacing the spring and trying to get a little bit of polish. I mean, like I said, I can't do much. So I was able to bring the trigger pull down, which is fine. When I pull the trigger in single action, I'm not getting really much resistance. In double action, the only resistance I get is towards the back end, and I'm okay with that. I mean, this is going to be more of a take to the range kind of gun, and kind of play around with. So, I mean, to me, the trigger pull is fine for me. My wife will never be able to use this. She will not be able to pull it. Other than that, I mean, great weapon, in my opinion. Last part of this, we're going to go ahead and do a quick drop safety. So, I'm going to go ahead and put it in single action. And weapon is now unsafe. For a drop safety, most people want you to drop the weapon. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger. So, weapon is unsafe. Alright, that's in single action. Now we'll go double action, drop safety. Will not fire. And for all intents and purposes, drop it, we're good. Last part of this video, some skill that you need to perform all this. One, you need patience. Without patience, you are not going to perform any of this job very well. Next thing you need is, I wouldn't say it's a skill, but definitely need the right tools. But with patience, I mean, like I said, patience is probably the biggest thing that you need is what you need when working with firearms. You got all these small parts, all these intricate parts that you're working with. If you drop one, you break one because you're trying to rush through it, doesn't make for good business. So I would say patience is probably the biggest and most important skill that you need as a gunsmith while working. So there you have it. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't do a lot. I couldn't do the polishing and stoning. I had tool malfunction, so maybe later on I'll get back on here and I will go over some polishing and stoning for this. Other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all next week.